As you set out to think about the obligations and opportunities of work and family, of time and talent, of goals and aspirations, I think it's good to remember a first foundational principle that I'm borrowing from the great Bishop Robert Barron. Your life is not about you, and my life is not about me. The sooner we all recognize this truth and then practice recalling it day by day, the happier we will be and better able to reconcile the competing opportunities and duties life hands us. Bishop Barron takes his trademark lesson from St. Paul. So speaking to the people of Corinth, Paul said, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore honor God with your bodies." This, friends, is a foremost truth of our faith. We were created and sanctified and are held in being at each moment by the God who is love. Our life is not our own, and therefore our talents and our time, they're not our own. They are gifts offered to us by God that we are called to offer back to God. How? By becoming God's instruments, by becoming that beautiful sailboat. I remember a few years back having been invited to speak at a prestigious forum, already overwhelmed with family life, but knowing God was asking me to do so, saying to him in prayer, "What could you be thinking, asking me to do this?" The response I received seemed emphatic and was definitely not of me, and I remember it frequently. "My child, this is not about you at all. You just happen to listen to me." But isn't it true? I mean, most of us don't listen, or don't listen often enough. I know I don't. We're too busy rowing the boat on our own, often around and around in circles. So in a recent homily, Bishop Barron called upon Thomas Aquinas to provide the theological foundations for what the angelic doctor had called the dignity of causality. So I'm putting Thomas's actual teaching here up on the screen for you budding theologians or actual theologians out in the audience, but let's let Bishop Barron translate for us. Bishop Barron says, "God is the universal cause of all things, the first cause, but God allows us to participate in a derivative way in his own causality. We are privileged to be the instruments in his hands." He continues, "I would say that the greatest moment of your life will be the moment you realize that the Master has need of you, that the Master has a plan for you, that the Master has created you to serve his purposes. In that moment, you find your real freedom." End quote. So God is the ground of all being, and therefore each of our beings. Thus, it only makes sense that to live our lives well, God must be at the foreground of any thinking we do about our plans, how we set out our lives, how we prioritize, what we give our time and talents to, and that's, of course, why you're all here this week. The creator of the universe, our Father in heaven, has great plans for us. He sees how our individual gifts and our shortcomings work together for his purposes. We just need to dedicate and rededicate ourselves to him, trusting day by day that he will make much better use of our lives than we could ever hope to on our own.